Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. Today we are going to make a fun 3D pocket for the inside of the album that we have just started. This is the Simple Vintage Meadow Flowers. I'm just going to call it Vintage Meadow, I think. Vintage Meadow paper collection, and we're using the Timeless printable scrapbook album templates, and there is links down below in the description box for the collections list for all the printables from my shop that we will be using. There are links to the Amazon list for this project, so I make lists for each project so that way you can see everything that I'm using in the project. There are also separate places where you can get these collections, and you don't have to have them all. The last video I showed you what I have, but I also gave you options. But currently they are available during the timing of this video. And I will also link a playlist up here in the cards for this project. So it'll take you from the introduction to the templates, and then it'll keep going until we're finished with the project, and it will always be there for you guys to reference. And of course, as always, feel free to use whatever paper collections you want to use. Feel free to use anything that you have at home. Feel free to substitute vintage papers even if you want to instead of a paper collection. So don't feel like you have to use exactly what I'm using. But these are just for inspiration, just to show you some different ideas, just to help you be a little creative. So today we are going to make a 3D pocket for the inside back cover, but I don't think we're going to be able to actually put it in the album just yet, because the binding for this is a cascading binding, so the top layer actually needs to be done first. So we're kind of going a little bit backwards, but that's okay. We will figure it out, because that's what I was inspired to do, was make this 3D pocket, and that's what I'm going to do. So okay. Oh, also your homework was to make the covers. Did you guys make the covers? Just simple, plain, coffee stained paper covered covers. Yeah. So out of these templates, I've already printed off some things, and I'm going to show you everything that I printed off. First thing is, oh, there'll also be timestamps below in the description box and the first pinned comment under the video, so that way you can find things easily if you need to reference. So the first thing I did was I printed the mat for the cover, which is on page 31, and I printed the flutter version onto cardstock. This is 80-pound white cardstock. I printed the flutter version. And I did go ahead and put some tape on the back of it, and we're not, like I said, we're not going to be attaching it today, but just in case we get a lot of stuff built on here, I wanted to go ahead and have the tape there. So there's one thing that we did, or that I have prepped and ready off camera. And then the next thing is page 18. So I printed page 18 in the flutter background onto white cardstock, and I cut, you can't see the mats are in the way a little bit, so I cut these two parts off and these two parts off, and I left this tab, this part, this I guess would be a gusset. What would that be called? A gusset? And then the main body, of course, right? And so then I scored both of those pieces, and I have inked up the back side. So this is going to be a flap, and I have put some pencil markings on here because we're going to make a window, which leads me to my next thing. I cut down a piece of pattern paper, which is this. Where's the other two pieces? I'm grabbing it right now. And I cut this down to 8.5 by 11, something like this. Well, actually, the first time I cut it, I accidentally cut it at 6.5, so I taped it back together, and that's okay. So we're just going to go with it, and I hope it didn't land on anything important, because that would stink. But anyway, so I cut it down to 8.5, and then 11. I even left this top part on because I knew it wasn't gonna be important to what we're getting ready to make. So these are the two cut-off pieces, and if you have an A4 printer, then you cut yours down to A4 size and run it through your printer. Make sure you unclick fit to page or whatever it is that your printer says. It'll just shrink it down just a smidgety smidge, 1/16 of a something, maybe 1/8. That's it. It just shrinks down just a tiny bit. Not a big deal, but anyway, you want to cut your paper down appropriately, or you can just trace it. That's something you can do as well. So we're going to be cutting this out, and but before I did that, and I also printed on vellum. I was thinking I was going to do the flutter design here. So these are page 48. These are the mats for page 18, and I was thinking I was going to do a different design, but I'm glad I accidentally just printed 2 of the plain, because I think I've got a fun technique. And you didn't even have to print it. You can just literally cut it out. You could have traced it and cut it out. You don't even have to print it. But anyways, here we are. So how I have to print vellum on, if you don't have vellum, you could use glassine paper, glassine bag paper. You could use transparencies. Use what you have if you don't have vellum, but I'll have everything I use linked in the Amazon, and if it's a very special thing, I'll have it linked separately. I think I'll try to do that. But anyway, I have to attach it to a piece of cardstock in order for my printer to recognize that it's a piece of paper. So you might have to do that as well. Okay, so we've got those 2. So we've got page 48's been printed twice, one on pattern paper and once on vellum. And then page 19, I printed page 19 with the flutter background design. I printed that onto cardstock, 80-pound white cardstock. And we're not going to use this right now, so I'm going to set this piece aside. But we are going to use this piece. So what I did was I scored all the lines. And we're not going to use this side. We actually need to flip it over. We're going to use this side. Okay. And the reason I printed this is because a lot of times when we use these floating pockets, it's nice to have that background already on the inside. So I went ahead and just decided that would be, that way I would be safe regardless. So this is actually going to be the pocket. So I flipped it over and I left my 2 tails, and those are going to be tucked in, and I left the tails from this gusset, not this gusset, if that makes sense. You can choose whichever one. I have forgot to put tape on before I mitered all my bits, but we will get to that in just a minute. So there's that, and then I traced the mats, page 49, so I traced all 4 of these mats onto this card here. This piece of, it's not a card, it's a 4x6 cut apart, from the 4x6 cut apart sheet. I traced that on here, and I've got myself a little note so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to do with that. I think the first thing we're going to do is put some tape on things. So we're going to set the mat for the cover aside and these pieces aside. And let's add tape here. Oops, that's too big. Oh. This is 3/8 inch. I could probably go bigger for that. Maybe I should. No, it shouldn't matter. So I'm just going to, I just ran out. I just ran out of tape. Right. Let me get another one. This is just a different brand, same size. And I have my tape resources linked below as well. I get my tape from several different online retailers, including Amazon. There's three different choices that I've got down there. Okay. I'm going to burnish these, and then I'm going to trim that up just a little bit better. All right, so in order to put this together, let me get one of the jigs out. How to make this little jig, I'll have that video for you guys up here in the cards and hopefully in the description box, because these are really helpful when it comes to making these 3D pockets. They're extremely, extremely helpful. I also think that I may put a dab of glue on these two pieces here, just a little bit, so that when we close this up, it'll be stuck to that piece there. Okay. Set that over there. All right, so now I'm just gonna be real careful. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to stick the jig in here. And I'm going to pull my sides up like this and follow those little tabs in. Okay, I'm going to remove the tape backing. Just a little bit. And we're going to attach those down. I did turn the camera back on, didn't I? I did. It went off the minute I had my hands full, of course. Alright, so now we formed that 3D pocket. I'm wondering if we should go ahead and put it down. Okay, so the 3D pockets, the cover mats are just a little bit wider than the pages themselves. So it's going to be not perfect. So there's going to be like 1/8 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch here. I'm even going to put, I may not, I may do it right to the edge. I'm going to do it right to the edge on the bottom. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to remove the tape backing. And I am going to use the jig to help me center this as best I can. And also, it's not perfect, but it is good. So then you can you keep the jig in there for now. You don't have to take it out. Oh, yes, I'm gonna have to take it out. Interesting. Why is that so much taller? It shouldn't be, but it is. It's very weird. Did I pick the wrong page to do the cover? So I got it right down there on the edge. Huh, that messy. Maybe we won't keep it in. No, it's the right one. Huh. I wonder why it's taller. Because we're going to be adding this to the top, back behind here. So, yeah, we'll have to remove it when we go to add that piece, because the jig is taller than it will allow. And it shouldn't be, but it is. So, it's okay. For now, we'll just leave it like this. Okay, so for this piece, let me get stuff out. And a craft knife. Okay, so what I did, the lines that I have put on here, I have gone 1/2 inch from both sides, 1/2 inch from this top piece, and then 1.5 inches from the bottom. I was going to do a 1/2 inch down here, but I thought it might look kind of cool doing it this way. So now I'm going to take a craft knife and the ruler, and I'm going to just be careful and cut. I just need to make sure that I stop right there. Right. So now we got that big scrap left over too. I'm going to stick that in my crafty tray here where I've got all the different, well, I'll have all the different pieces. So now we have this. Let me erase some things. So that's what we have so far. So this is going to be here, but it's going to be behind the mat. Yeah, this is going to look really good, I think. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to need this here in just a second, so I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to cut these out. For the vellum, I just need the center. For the decorative paper, I need the center and the skinny short mat over here. So I'm just going to cut away the other two things. Okay, so this is the one that I need to, that one's fine. That one, we're going to be putting that one right there. So here is where my taped edge is, and if I put it up at the top here, I think it may be just at the wrong spot. So I'm going to flip it around and have my boo-boo down here, because I don't need to cut as far down, I don't think anyway. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to best do this. Let's see. So if I did a 1/2 inch, what if I did, what if I did 3/8 of an inch from the edge? 1, 2, 3. Well, I'll mark it and then we'll see what that looks like. We'll see if that's gonna work. And the 8s. And then at the bottom here, I need an inch. Let's see. So it's already, don't mind me, I'm just trying to math here. Okay, 1.5 inches from there. That's right around here. Okay. So I need to come in, I've got the right one, right? I need to come in 1/8 of an inch. Ugh. I hope I'm doing this right. If not, you guys, I apologize. I think it's 1/8 of an inch. We'll see. Oh no, that's where it's, okay. I need to come in 1/8 of an inch from that mark. So that'll be 1.25 inches from the bottom. All right, I'm gonna cut it out. Let's just see. We'll see. It's hard to see, I know. So what did I say? 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 1.25 inches. Oh boy. Okay, do we think it fits perfect? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? No, it's not. Okay, all right. It's super close though. I could just leave it like that. So it looks like we should have gone 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and the bottom is good. Let's do it. Let's do it anyway. I'm going to cut it down to 1/4 inch. Daggone it. Okay. Some of you might find that a little too fussy, and that's okay. You can skip it. You can skip it. You didn't have to be so precise. Okay. So there's that. And I'm going to ink this really quick. All right. I need to figure out where to place the magnet, so I'm going to have to take this out because we're going to add a magnet. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it down. Might as well. Let's do it. We don't need all that extra paper right there either. Oh, you know what I did wrong? Got the tape on the wrong side. Boy, I made 2 errors right in a row. All right, that's okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna remove this. And we're gonna pull down these little pieces that I have here. I just didn't think this through, I guess, apparently. Alright, and I'm actually going to put, nope, I'm going to get this one back out. Put this back on here. The tape needs to go on the other side, is what happened. In case you didn't figure out that my error. Alright, so now I'm going to lay this right at that, right before that score mark there. And we're going to attach it to the tape that's back here. Burnish it down. I'll push this tape back up, that tape back up, and let's put this back. Okay. Alright, so now I should be able to tell, will this fit in here like this? Yup. Okay, that's where that ends. Alright. Where's my vellum? So before I start attaching things down, I had another idea of something to do with this vellum. So I'm actually gonna scooch this aside. Where's my one piece? There it is. I'm gonna scooch this aside for a second and cut out this other piece. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of wording fixing, but I'm thinking it's gonna look pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna trim out around the outside edges first, and then we'll cut the mats, the tiny mats individually out. So I'm going to start here actually. Did that top not, I didn't cut that top very good. Wow. Wow. I cut it out with my scissors. So, yeah. It's a little wonky. Okay. Now let's cut this piece. This piece. That piece. All right, I need to cut, a couple of these have extra squares on them, right, that's the bottom. Cut that off. Cut this off. All right, I'll ink all that up, all these small pieces up off camera, but first I wanted to ink this up and do a little stamping. So it said you belong among the wildflowers. I want to see if I can't fix this F first. Let me scooch in so you can see a little bit better. Oh, dang on it, the battery's almost dead. So I think if I, yeah, just use my marker. I think I can make this one look better just by going like that. I don't think it's super noticeable, but then the other thing I want to do is I want to stamp you in capital. These particular peg stamps, I have them in the Amazon list. They're so cute. So I'm going to put Y. I'm going to do it in all caps. Y, O, U. Now I didn't do it perfect either, but I think it just makes it that much more adorable. Okay. Should I put quotes? No. think what I'll do is just like that. You belong among the wildflowers. All right, I am going to ink up these little pieces here and change my battery, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my battery changed. I've got everything ready to go. This is going to go back behind here, but instead of printing the flutter background design, oh, I didn't get this part right here. Hang on just a second. Probably because I was fighting it. I want to stamp on it. I thought it would be fun, so I took some time and I stamped all of the inks that I've showed you previously. Let me scooch you in, maybe you can see better. That I showed you in the last video. I just think it would look really cool to stamp on the vellum and just have, not the whole thing, but just little bits and pieces. So I've got each one sampled out here, including the scorched timber. But the one I liked the most was the weathered wood next to this. So I'm going to use that one. So this was another fun thing to add to the samples of what I can use, I guess. All right. So this is what I used to stamp off. And so I'm gonna get you right here. And I'm gonna grab the stamp set. This is the stamp. I've got it linked to my Amazon. This one, I guess I should scoot back just a little bit so you can see. I've got it linked to my Amazon. I bought it when it was the Heidi swap. Yeah. Stamp. Now I don't think they make it anymore, but another company does. And I'm going to grab my weathered wood. Distress oxide. And I need to decide how I kind of want to do this. So, I want to flip it the right way. So I think I'm going to ink up this bottom corner here. Kind of like that. And I'm going to press this on here. Oh, that looks so good. That is so neat looking. I guess you can see it better on the white. That is so neat looking. Okay, now I want to maybe add something to this top, but I need to stamp off. I don't want to get it. Wow, look how much ink was left. I'll go right here. I don't want to get too much on here, but I'll have to clean that up later, the stamp. Okay, I just think it's gonna add just a little something, you guys. I'm super excited about it, okay. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna add, you know what, actually first, I am going to heat set this so it'll dry, so I don't smudge it. Okay, now I've got a bit of a wrinkly vellum. Okay, I'm gonna add glue all around, and then we'll set this on top. This is Fabri-Tac. I put Fabri-Tac in a sugar bell bottle. You know what? I might leave this top open just in case. Maybe we'll have a little tuck a thing or two in the, whoa, in there. All right, I've got it. Oh, did I put it on upside down? How? How do I do these things? Hang on. Oh, Lordy. Let's try it again. I don't think I'll need more glue, but geez Louise. There we go. Now, that looks super cool. So I left that open right there just in case we wanted to do something right there. But yeah, that looks really cute. Okay, let's move that. All right, so one of the things I need to do is add a magnet, and I think I'm just going to put one in the middle. Right, if I do that, let me put it in the middle of the pocket, and then I will do that. So I need to find my magnets. Find them. I know where they are. They're right here. All my magnets are linked down below. My magnet resources, including Amazon. And I think what I'll do, get that back in there for a second, is just guess right there. The first magnet of the project has now been installed. Okay, right now I'm going to flip that back out. Let me make sure I've got it. So I'm going to draw a circle around there, and then I'm going to put a glue dot. And you missed. Sometimes. Okay. It's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tape over it. This is not necessary, but this way it won't move. I'm going to put it over that one and this one. And let's mat, what did I say? Fix the F, which I did. Stamp U, which I did. Add magnet, which I did. Wonderful. So this is going to go here, and we're just going to use Fabri-Tac. Yep. If I had a shorter version of this, I wouldn't have to keep taking things in and out, but it's totally fine. I'll take the tape backing off of here. some more. Okay, and then I'm going to do the sides. Okay, while we're being fussy, let's put this piece on this area. Let's actually do it like this. Let's flip this whole thing upside down because we're going to be working on this piece next. So let's go ahead and glue this piece. Okay, and let's glue this piece. Let's take this off. I hope I'm still in frame. I haven't looked up. Alright, I've got ink and glue all over my fingers. Alright, I'm going to go everywhere that, I'm going to have the glue everywhere that you can't see through the pocket. Or the flap, or the whatever you want to call this. Alrighty. Everybody hold your breath. Hold your breath, hold your breath. Is that okay? I think that's okay. Can you hear my son? He's playing games. He's playing games in his room. And he's got headphones on, so he can't hear himself. Okay. So now we have something that looks like that. Oh, I love it. It looks so good. Let me put my glue cap on. All right. I'm gonna scooch you out just a little bit more. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make, I have some things. I have some journal spots. These are from Journal Spot set number 1. And I got 2, so that way when we flip it up, I can have the matching one on this side so it's not see-through, I guess, so you don't see like the back side of it. I don't think it, what do you think? Do you think it matters? It probably doesn't even matter. I also want to put a hoe reinforcement here, and I'm going to use this pink one, I believe. I want to stamp on it. Here we go. I'm sorry. That one is Victorian Velvet. Make sure there's nothing on there. Whoa. I didn't need it all over the place. That's okay. Nice. That looks really good. It's just a few that didn't get. Do you guys like that idea of adding? It's hard to see, I know. Do you see the very faint? It's just a little detail that I think is kind of cool. Okay. So yeah, these are just printed onto 28-pound paper. And I know you can't really see the script that well, but it does add something. Maybe if it was not color on color, but maybe if it was more of like a brown. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Somebody experiment and show me a picture. Put it in our Facebook group. Show me a picture of what it looks like with the brown stamped over top of it instead of the pink. So if I'm just going to do one, let's do both sides the same. It's just a regular standard hole punch. And I'm going to ink it up. Watch me change my mind and be like, no. I also need to figure out what strings I want to use, what pull tabs. Pull tabs? Is that the right word? Pull, I don't know, I can't remember. So I was thinking about adding this. Of course, I'd have to ink the back side of that, and adding a wax seal, but I want to kind of cut that and have the stem sticking out the bottom of the wax seal. But then I also want to add a word. Let me get my sticker sheets. I was thinking about adding wander. You think wander would be too? I think wander might be perfect right there. What about beauty? Would that be? No, that wouldn't work. What about happiness? I kind of like wander. I kind of like wander. Okay. I'm going to ink this flower up because you're going to be able to see it on the back side. So I need to melt some. I'm going to melt some. I'm going to show you guys a trick. I'm going to show you guys a trick. I am going to, pour another, I'm going to make another wax seal stamp, but I'm going to show you how to use an existing one and how you would go about attaching it down if you were going to attach one down this way. So I need to cut this though. I'm going to cut this right there. Oh, I also need to glue things down. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let me glue this first. And let me start melting this. This is going to look so good, so good. Okay. So I'm not going to glue it all the way down so I can come back and add. How far should I go? Okay. I'm just going to add it to this bottom corner and this top, and we can come back and add more glue if we need to. I'd like it to be a little bit more slanty maybe. Have it like this. And like this. Yep, let's just glue it down. Let's do this one first. Put it in the right spot. And then I was going to put this here, right? And with this coming out the bottom. I might even need to go just a little bit more. Okay, so this is the rose stamp that I showed you in the last video. You could use any of these. The rose stamp, there's the butterfly stamp, there's the bumblebee. We've used these other two. We've used them in many projects, so use what you have. This is the, I like the oval one. I just think it's cool. But I wanted to show you guys. I can't decide if that should be, we'll see. Where's the words? What did I say? Wander? Okay. I'm going to get this wander out while the wax is still melting. Oh, what if I did it like... Shoot. Got a little bit sticking up there. I wonder how noticeable it is. It's not too bad. Okay, that's fine. That'll work. All right, I'm gonna pour this out first. And then make an impression. Maybe I'll like that one better. I don't know. I'm gonna put one more bead in here. I'm going to melt that. Wax seal bead. Okay. I'm going to take a spatula of some sort. Scrape that off of there. I kind of like this one better. Alright, so, or do I? Yeah, I kind of like that one better. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to just drop a little bit of wax there, and then we're going to place this on top and squish, because that's how you can add already pre-made wax seals to where they're going to stick good, to where there's like a good, where they adhere nicely. Let me scooch you in so you can see a little bit better. The trick is, you gotta be quick. So I'm just going to put a bit there, and boop. Just like that, and it should already be dry. It should already be hardened. I'm gonna give it just a second so it doesn't roll off. Wow, I think this turned out so good. I love it. Of course, you can't really see the stamped vellum at the moment, but you can see it in person, and then when you open it up to the back side, you can see it. It gives that a little bit of character, so since you can see through that window, right? Oh, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, now I need to figure out what, okay, I actually know what I'm going to use, and it's sitting right here, thank goodness. I am going to use this natural, I'm not sure what it's called. I used to think it was hemp, but I don't think that's what it is. But I'll have it linked. Like hemp cord, like natural jute or something like that. And how do I want to do this? Since it's a fixed. I'm going to go up through here. I hate it when it doesn't like stay. I need to put a dab of glue there so it doesn't move. And I need to cut these shorter. Oh my gosh, I think this turned out super cute. I love it. All right, you guys, you have to let me know your thoughts. We're not gonna add it into the book just yet, but here's where it's gonna go. So it's gonna be on the back like this, and I'll hold it up so you can see. We have to add layers because it'll be behind here. It'll be attached down behind there, so we have to have layers. But look at, this is a really good starting point. Oh, I adore this. This looks so good. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, all right, you guys, be sure to leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and check out all the information in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.